vice president are both unable to attend. We have the minutes. Is there, everyone should have received those minutes. Is there any additions or corrections?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
all right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, Becky, we have a couple of property splits, I think, that you have for us to look at.
First up is the storage units out here on 120. They're wanting to divide off the parcel with the pond. I believe, it looks like all the storage sheds are in front of that. Don't know what they're planning on doing with the property, why they want to sell off, to sell it, what, if there's somebody interested in building, or, I don't know. They just asked if they could split it and sell it. So, they have the approximately 3.5 acres would be the split that's left there, so.
What do we have to do? Why is it here?
We have to allow the split. Whenever a property gets split, we have to allow the split.
Okay.
And are they both in agreement with that? 'Cause it looked like.
They don't have to my understanding, they don't have a buyer for it yet. They just want to be able to sell it, but then they will deed over, give them access to the driveway. Just like when Brian's parents had
Yeah.
that separate business, they gave them a deeded access to their
But at one point, it kind of looked like Brian and Alice didn't agree. Was that correct or incorrect? They're in agreement with each
Well, I
other?
know they're married.
I think
On this issue. Yeah.
This is this one.
so. Yeah, there's two different requests from them.
That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
got confused. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got it.
thank you.
So there's some compelling reason why we do.
Well, so, and I don't know whether this is gospel. Kathy and I were just talking about it. I remember, I wasn't on the planning commission then, but I remember Chris telling me that because they wanted to open that back up, and I don't know whether we have any proof of this or not, but it was said that it was zoned and it could only be a car dealership.
What?
Well, yeah, years ago,
This
Oh,
was-
okay, I remember that.
yeah, there was a car
Right.
dealership there, and when something was zoned, if it sat empty, but this is when we were doing spot zoning, which we cannot do now. So, if it sat empty for a year, then it reverted back. But I believe we rezoned that. after
Yeah.
that.
I think we did too, but I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Of the history, yeah.
So if it's split, are they both considered commercial still, like?
Well, they would still, I would say that it would carry its zoning, you know. I just want you to be aware if somebody comes in here and starts yelling.
So the back parcel that would be the same zoning as the front, right now?
No, while they're side by side.
Yeah, it's like-
That's how- yeah, okay.
Because that pond is
So
actually
this is-
behind the
Yeah, well,
sheds,
this is
right?
what
Yeah.
this is, you pull in here and then the storage is here and the
Okay,
sheds are there.
okay.
With the pond.
And I don't know if there's a difference when they say to give the new owners ingress egress. Does that mean deeded, or is that two separate things? Like if you're gonna require deeded access, that's probably something we should let them know. If that's the only way to allow the split too, so that way another driveway isn't off of 120. But I don't know if that means the same thing. Those terms I'm not 100%.
Well, we've
On.
done that before.
Okay, so that's, yeah.
I mean, they just, that's on them.
okay,
That's on their, you know, they're the ones that've got to
deal with that,
have
right?
their
Which
legal documents.
I don't care, but yeah, I didn't know if
Yeah.
you guys have a
There's-
preference.
we're-
Yeah.
There's several places around, back out there behind, Baker and Sons Plumbing. When,
Oh, yeah.
Dan Garman
Yeah.
built a couple houses back in there,
Mhm.
and he wanted to use the same drive, so we allowed him
Mhm.
to do that.
Yeah.
I said, hey, that's on you, if somebody wants to trust you, I don't really care.
Right, right.
So all we gotta do is approve it?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
So this,
Okay, there's been no,
discussion, so this land behind the pond will also be commercial, is what I'm hearing.
the 3.5 acres, whatever is.
Or is that what they're
so-
splitting off and changing?
No, that's what I meant, yeah.
Okay,
Whatever's zoned.
Yeah, everything that's in that little
red square,
red square.
okay. Thanks.
Yeah, not that, that other belongs, to who's that belong to? Well, what's his name up on the hill? Yeah.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay, Becky, next.
All right, the next one is also from Alice, but on the other end of town, or on the other side of town, right? They have a family large estate property that they want to build on without splitting it off. So, first of all, we have to determine if it's even in our jurisdiction. That was a question that maybe it is not. If it is, then will we allow them to build? Basically, there would be 2 homes on it, on one property. Because there's a little house up front, or in the back up front.
But it's quite a large piece of property.
It is, mm-hmm.
And we just don't know if 600 is beyond our scope, is that what it is? Just-
It's right there.
I think it's real
Right
close,
on the edge.
real close.
Okay.
So what we can do is, if we want to make our recommendation to, to allow it, just point it out to them that they might want to double check with the county too, to make sure that they're not.
That was.
Usually the county sends them to us
Okay.
if they're, yeah,
Anyway.
if they've approached the county will send them to us if they're in our area. If they're on the edge, then sometimes we wonder, oh, that is in our area. So,
So it's really just to let them build another home, correct?
yes.
Okay.
To allow them to have the 2 residents on one parcel.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion made in second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, motion carries.
Did that one. Oh, you divided that up then. For your,
Yeah, daughter and I was sold Douglas now. Mom and dad's house.
Okay, the next would be, the FICO new build split of their property, which in the packet was the survey or the preliminary, their vision of what they would like to do with how they split it, to put the new building on. The bylaws were also sent over to you, so you should have had a chance to read through those if you had any questions or concerns about that. And Melissa is here for any additional questions or comments as well. So I don't know if you had anything additional to add to those pictures that were sent earlier.
I mean, I have stuff, but, I mean, you just approved all these splits with no pictures of buildings at all?
Oh, we have pictures here. They were
Right.
emailed to
No,
us.
I mean,
I
like-
just didn't have yours, yeah.
No, I have an entire building plan, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it to you before and then gotten down the rabbit trail, so.
Does anybody have any questions for Melissa?
I probably now related to that, how are you gonna raise the money, the $1.5 million?
Well, right now we have, Clemens and Coldwater,
Oh.
we're hoping for 300,000 from them. Cameron Hospital is also, looking at 300,000 to donate. I'm working on trying Fortified Life, I'm in talks with them also. So we have a lot of, organizations that will sponsor us, and then we also have some private donors.
Can you start without the full amount?
I refuse to. I will not.
Okay.
The property itself and the grant that I have, I cannot take a lien at all on the property, none. So, I won't start a project that I can't finish. and I won't waste people's money, so.
Basically, what I want to find out.
Yeah, no, we can't even have a mortgage
Okay.
on anything about it. We cannot owe money.
And so you haven't had these funds raised by next year, is that what it
I
was?
have submitted, well, I was waiting for all of this business. I was hoping this was gonna be done a lot sooner, because I need to ask for an extension on my grant. They give me 12 months and release me on November 15th. And if you know anything about nonprofits, you don't raise capital building projects in November and December. That's your annual fund time. And then, of course, with the new president, things, and no matter what political party is coming in, there's always going to be upheaval. And so a lot of people right now are holding on to their money. So I have contracts of people that will give us money. But like, for example, the county had talked to me about $250,000 in ARPA funds. And then because the state is not bringing funds in, they had to reallocate those. And rightfully so, they've got to keep their employees, but they were hoping to earmark those for us, but now they're kind of holding on to them. And I certainly can't blame them, so I'll pull all of this together and give it to my funder, my grant funder, and request at least a year extension on that.
And then Melissa, if you don't raise all the funds, then does the property stay with the church?
Yeah, we're not
Because
gonna,
you won't get the grant then, right? If you don't have the funds
well,
to match.
they will match whatever I raise.
Okay.
But the caveat of that is I must be able to build what I need, if that makes sense. So right now, we're looking at a community center. So it's an entire community center. What we do is expand it so much, we don't just have the food pantry, we have, we're going to put in a two-room clinic so that Faith Health Clinic, Cameron Hospital can come up and actually help people. We partner with St. Martin's also to give a place in our community that's a free health clinic that our people can get help here without going to Angola or going elsewhere. We have an active learning center in the building. We also have obviously the food pantry as part of that. And then we are the vetting organization for Care Portal for the entire county, which is keeping kids out of foster care. So I'll have all of the Care Portal hub there as well. I have a commercial kitchen, so you can see how many things I could white box in this project. If I needed to cut back, let's say I raise $1 million, I get $1 million, I'd have to bring this project back to a $2 million project then, if that makes sense. So the goal now is to go ahead and build the whole thing. But it doesn't mean I lose it if I don't hit that $1.5 million mark.
But if you only raise 500,000 and then they match 500,000, and that's not enough to build what you want,
It would be
then
enough to
does
build
the
the food
property
pantry.
stay with the church?
Yeah, it would be enough to build the food pantry, which is the primary goal,
Okay.
and we'd be okay. But if I raise nothing and I lose the grant, there's no point in transferring anything.
Correct, that's my question.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
The only reason I was clarifying is there are multiple levels of things we can do, and there are contingencies in place to make sure that we're building something. Because right now, at the way that we're going, I'll be fully transparent. We're sharing with the church, and we gave out almost 250,000 pounds of food last year.
Yeah.
And it is nuts. Like, I have food stuffed in every crevice of that building, and then we're hiding it away just to have church, and then pulling it back out and it's all in racks. We can't keep up like this. We absolutely cannot. We just can't. It's impossible to do what we're doing and to keep up with the demand and the need. Because we don't, the other issue is there are a lot of food pantries that are just like, oh, here's your box, see you later, people. And the problem with the welfare system in our country is that we throw things at people and then keep them in poverty. And what we try to do is we give them the assistance they need, but also connect them to resources to get them out of poverty. And it's hard to not just go, oh, here's your box. We could do that in a small space. But that doesn't help our community here. It doesn't help the neighbors that live across the street from us in the trailer park. When we just say, oh, you know, this is to keep you alive, but we're not gonna help you out of your situation. So, could we continue to do it in our little tiny space? Yes. Could we do it well so that we actually help people and we don't have toxic charity? No.
So the project is probably spring next year?
Well, that would be amazing.
Well, I mean, at the earliest.
Yes, yes. I mean, if you know some wealthy benefactor, I just finished my CFRM, which is Certificate of Fundraising Management with IU, and my education was sponsored by the Surratt Foundation, the James Foundation, the Downwood Foundation. So all of those organizations also are investing in us and what we're doing. So, yeah, I mean, if they all wanted to just pop on and hand over the 1.5, spring would be it.
Need to get hooked up with them guys over there trying then.
Actually,
That's where old James is at.
No,
Rick.
I know Rick. I mean, he was the one that just sponsored my education, yeah. And I was a professor at Trine, so I'm good there too.
I would move that they could go ahead with their plans. Is that what we need?
Now, I got something to say here, and
Discussion.
it's not negative, right? But, since you're gonna do all these other things, you know, with the education and the health clinics and things like that, okay? So, that makes it doable. But, if all you were gonna do is put up a building and have a food pantry, there is nothing in our zoning that would really make that fit.
Human services doesn't fit?
It
Because all of
doesn't-
this is human
It's
services.
not,
It is.
look, I'm not trying to argue with you.
But you also weren't very nice to me
I-
last time. At all. So I'm expecting that
Hey.
you gotta give me that much.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you that without these other services, it would be hard to make just the food pantry fit into our zoning without a variance in a residential area. If you read the zoning.
So what does it make a difference if, because it really is all human services. And my nonprofit it is certified as a full human services, not a food pantry.
But it
My
just doesn't
NCCE
call out
code.
for that.
He's just saying that if that is what it is, you have to then get a variance.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's not possible, you just
It's
have to
not
get
a
a
no.
variance, is what he's saying.
No, I'm not saying no, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
he's just saying there might be other steps if it just comes
When
down
it
to
comes,
just
we
getting
have
a
to go
variance.
to the zone,
So
Yeah,
what
we
we
can
do
now.
we get a variance out.
because it's a church, when you,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I think my question is, when did we find out about that? Was it our place to find out something on the retention, on the property where you're placing that? Or is that something that you have to do through the county when you pull permits and all that? Like, where does that liability fall?
My builder actually tried to call to ask some questions about some of that and they didn't get answers. I think there was something online that they couldn't look up within your code. And according to my builder, which of course I'm not a builder, I'm a math professor, what do I know? That you can share property on a detention pond. Otherwise, how do all of these, Kohl's and
Okay.
Menards and everywhere else? But you had said no before. And, because when we went to transfer the property and the church's detention pond is there, it would go on the piece that we're pulling off.
Right.
But our issue was, what we said we would do is that when we do the sale of the land, we would have the caveats in there. Number one, that we have access to the parking lot on non-church days as full use for us, but the repairs belong to the church. And the same for the detention pond. The detention pond on my property, as in the nonprofit's property, is from the building of the church, as long as we can expand that, because we haven't had the engineers look at that part yet. So as long as it can be expanded, there's no reason, but it's gonna have to be in the bill of sale, that we have to do any repairs or any issues on that because it is within our land.
Okay.
So I mean, it would have to be part of the sale of it, that, because otherwise you're just like, what if they decide I can't use their parking lot?
I don't want to squash what people have offered to provide. Thinking that you won't get enough to do more than a food pantry.
Well, I I really don't think, as soon as things settle down, we need a good year under our belt, under the new administration. And I really do think that we should be okay to raise, but I'm gonna be fully honest, I already have a plan to white box the commercial kitchen. Because those are expensive, dang, they're expensive. We'll just have a food truck or something instead, I don't know. But we don't do enough community meals at this point to warrant the expense on that. But we certainly have tried to think through it. And from an economic development standpoint, let's be fully honest, if we don't have the service center community, what does the crime rate look like? What's gonna happen to the people who live across the street from us? You know, like, where are they going to be able to go? And we are the largest pantry in this entire county. So we're serving people from the entire region. We hit 12 to 14 counties every year. We have over 30 zip codes of people that are coming into here. And trust me, I know they stop at your gas station because they come in with their pots and it makes me mad. But from an economic development standpoint, that's good. So I guess the thing is that if I keep hitting barriers and I keep blocking, I'm gonna have to rethink the where of this. But this is my home.
I want to make this, I want to do our part, and I think this is great for our community, and I think the programs that you would offer, I love the idea, let's get people out of poverty in our community, let's help the people in our community. I don't know what this looks like for us, you know.
But we have a motion on the
Yeah.
table, we need a second.
I second it.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Okay.
Bravo.
Yes, yeah.
I would like to also add that our active learning center, our classroom, I'm working on making it a tornado shelter. I can't use the word shelter, I have to be careful, because it won't be necessarily an overnight,
Right.
but a place of security for the people across the street, because there is nowhere
Oh, yeah.
for them
Right.
to go. So right now, we can hold 75 in the current design. That's
Good for
the
you.
part I'm the most excited about.
Good for you.
Nice, very nice.
So, okay, my excuse.
You are excused if you want to.
Thank
Sure can, yes, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so next on the agenda then, is the Chambers property on 120. We were checking into how the county would, if it's a deeded access, but in checking into that, we found out that they don't even have a C of O for where they're living. So we're going to table that until
Oh,
it is settled with the county, because apparently there are some issues there. So we can't approve a split or allow them to build a home until their home is good. So that's easy. We don't need a motion or anything on it,
No.
nothing, right? 'Cause- okay. All right, and the next one was the Feather Valley Road with those storage units, which he had emailed me and said he was working on it, but he apparently thought the meeting was next week, so he hasn't gotten me any new information. So again, that will be tabled until he gets me new information. And then the last item that I had is, Armstrong is the name. They live at 307 North Tillotson Street, so it's that house right there on the corner where the road went back to our books, built their house at the end of Tillotson there. He currently has a fence that is up against it, which the picture shows there. He's got that white vinyl fence, and he's wanting to remove parts of it and then extend it over to the edge of his property line and enclose that back portion with an aluminum fence. He meets as far as the setbacks away from his property line, as far as height requirements, everything is fine. It was just that the original fence that is put up is clearly not in, because it's in front of his building line of his home. So that was already, something was approved at some point in time to do
It
that.
was.
So, before I tell him he can remove it and do something different, I want approval that he can do something different with it,
His fence
because,
is out there that far is because Pat McCarty's trailer sat there,
Yes.
it looked like hell.
yes, so I didn't want to approve and let him change it all up when there's, I don't want to mess any of that up. So, because I didn't know what permission was given to him, if that fence had to stay like that, or if he can move it and change it. So So the only problem is that he's not in front of the building line of his now new neighbor, but he is still in front of his building line of his house. So
But he is keeping the front part of the.
that front little
where it's
section is
at.
But
right.
Okay.
that's not a road.
Correct.
That's a driveway.
Correct. So, before I approve anything, that's all up to you guys can
I
say.
gave you permission to be able to do that a long time ago.
Right. I just didn't know what that permission was before I said, sure, move that fence and do whatever,
He put it where I said he put it.
and then I'm in trouble for having to move it. So, you guys just, if, I will gladly call him and tell him he's good to go, because he didn't seem to be, there's no other violations in there other than just moving that old fence and.
So is he wanting to move that part over as well?
I don't know if he's using the same, I mean, I assume he's using the same fencing and maybe that's that,
But
but
he
he
is-
has to buy more to finish out the rest of the vinyl.
So, but the
Well,
intention,
that's the property line there.
yeah. And then he's moving that over, just keeping it at the same distance. Right? I mean, it's just moving it over like 3 feet.
Well, I guess he didn't really put the measurements in there.
Well, I
but-
thought you had said something earlier about the front section was going to stay there and then he was jutting over. Am I wrong on that?
Right, yeah, that line there is, he's adding all that back there.
So is he moving that front portion?
So I think that where the X's are might be where he's removing.
Correct, all that's being
So
removed,
he's
so
moving
this
that
part
and
is
jutting over.
staying,
Okay.
yeah, this part's staying and he's adding fence here.
You don't like smoker.
It's gonna go over.
We're not here to decide that. He just wants to know if he can put a fence in.
Well, he's not going out any further and he's behind this building. So he's just moving, he's keeping that stationary, coming over and going back, and then just putting 2 different kinds of fencing in there.
Correct, yeah, and he's, I guess, looks like he's staying 36, it's 36 inches off of the south property line, which is, he can go up to his property line, but he's staying off of it a little ways,
He's
so.
on the property line, I'll make a motion to approve that fence.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second, is there any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
And
And that's all that I have.
Okay.
Is there anything more about the, where the lumber yard is with what they were doing with where they took down the, remember we talked about it having a hard surface?
Yeah, they said they're gonna put grass in and then they're gonna
Oh,
fence,
okay.
they're fencing it in as far as I know. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, that's what they pulled a permit for, was putting a fence in.
Then I have just 2 quick things. December 2nd, we'll have a plan commission meeting to approve the comprehensive plan and make a recommendation to the town council. It'll be on the website starting, October 16th, I think is what she said she'll have it done to us. It'll be on the website for public viewing during that time frame for about a month. And so that the plan commission will need to, this is the process we have to go through with everything. They'll make their recommendation to the council. The council will have a public hearing in December.
So this is just us, we don't have a public hearing.
No, we do not. This is just, yeah, we just have to meet to approve or make a recommendation. So, and then if there's anything else that Becky has to come up, it'll just go on that as well. And then the other thing is we had talked about doing, changing it from quarters to bi-monthly, every other month for the plan commission meeting, and because it's easier, so we'll start with January, it'll be January, March, May, July, on there, and it's easier just to cancel it versus, but we've had so many more things, it's a lot easier to have a set meeting, everybody knows when they are, and then it's in their schedule, so. And that will be on the first Tuesday of those months, so, and we'll get that out to you as soon as council approves it. Which is possible, it'll either be at the October meeting or November,
Our next meeting is,
December 2nd.
we won't have to have another special meeting for those, will we?
She might have some of that information here, so, right, they're gonna need to come on December 2nd, correct?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my bad.
Yes, yep, so. Okay, if there's nothing else, we just have a motion to adjourn.
So
Okay, all right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.